Hello, I'm Royal Seeley, and today I'm going to be looking at the second half of my chords from 2022. These are not all of my coordinates as stated in the first video. Instead, I'll be focusing on the chords where I wore the same main piece but in different ways. There's a lot more chords that I put together throughout the last year, but these are the ones that I have photos of, so here we go. First video, we looked at Patissier in the Forest, Cats and Cherry Cake, both by Metamorphose, followed by N. Shang or NSG's Oil Painter Seeker series, Kuma Kumia's Marine Island 2 JSK by Baby and the Stars Shine Bright, and Metamorphose's Twinkle Journey, the Underbust cut. To start us off for this video, we're going to be looking back on MyCom's Summer ILD of 2022, and it was the first ILD I ever had the pleasure of going to. This is actually a recreation of that chord. I didn't get many good pictures from that day, and that was a couple of reasons. So the wig I'm wearing here, and in here is Dreamholic's Hime Ringo, only I wore the white linen version of that one, or the gold linen, the blonde version of it. And I have really dark hair, so usually when I'm cording, I end up wearing this brown one as it's easier to blend my natural hair color with it. It's a lot harder when you have such dark hair and such a bright natural color wig. So it took a lot of messing around before I got this one in particular to where I like it. And for ILD, a bunch of us had the idea to wear animal ears with our prints, the Ida staple, and it was a lot of fun. The main piece that I ended up choosing was Angelic Pretty's Princess Cat Peplum cut, and right before this, I was actually considering selling it. There was something about it where there were so many things I liked about it, but it felt like something was always just off, that it didn't connect. I felt like every time I wore it, I just had to cord it in black, and it wasn't really that versatile. Or at least I didn't see the possibility of versatility when I had this initially. So I decided for ILD, I was just going to wear it, and I was going to see how I felt. If the feeling still changed, and if I still didn't like it, then I would sell it. This is also the lavender colorway, and in the real world, I've had kind of a mixed relationship with the color purple. For the longest time, it was my least favorite color, but I'm starting to open up to it a bit more. So here we are, Peplum cut of Angelic Pretty's Princess Cat. We have a really simple coordinate of just a short puffy black blouse. I've got the black cat ears matching the tuxedo cat in the border of the print. And then I have my Access Femme scallop with black shoes in black, ribbon printed tights from Roji Roji. And I really like this cord. I feel like it balances the space on my legs with the space that I have on my arms, being that they're see-through. And this is the basic way that I would go about cording it before. I had a couple other blouses that were black that I would wear it with, and nothing was really inspiring me, I guess. It was my own closed-mindedness. So what I ended up doing was setting aside a day where I retook pictures of my ILD cord, but I also brought a backup blouse and some accessories to see if that would make me see the dress in a different light. And I'm really glad I did, because it completely changed my feelings on this dress and this print and how versatile I feel when I'm wearing it. After that, I went for the classic big bow on head look, and this is a bow that is from a Lolita winter coat. It's the waist bow for that, and I just stick a headband through it or a couple bobby pins. But the important thing here for me is I've removed the peplum, which makes the print seem a lot brighter, at least to me, because it doesn't have that dark overlay. And then I have this I believe it's balloon advertising blouse, and it's a white puffy sleeve blouse with these ruffles around the wrists and the collar, and it has these little tiny polka dot hearts on it. And the polka dots of the blouse, I feel like they really replicate the black and white printed ribbon at the bottom where there's these polka dots. But the important thing for me, at least when I did this, is it completely opened up my worldview when it came to this. I always felt like I had to wear very dark, like black, and that was it. But having this white, light color blouse, I noticed some of the other details on the dress that I feel like maybe I wouldn't have if I hadn't. One of the ways I plan on trying to cord this next is with some light pink, since there are some light pink pieces, and I feel like pink and lavender go really well together, but it doesn't end there. I did one more cord with this print, and I ended up still trying to figure out if it was the cut of the dress or the pattern itself that wasn't working for me. I ended up getting Princess Cat in the frill or tier JSK cut. Main difference here, besides the overall structure for me, is the sizing. So it's a lot more narrow of a window to fit in. And this is not the best photo to showcase it, so I'd really like to show it off sometime. It is missing that asymmetrical, I guess like fishnetty line on the bust, and instead it has just a row of frills going down the center of the bust with black velvety ribbons, and I think it's super cute. This cord was for the Renaissance Fair, which was on a winery. The Renaissance Fair, typically there's a story that goes on about the prince and the princess, and there's some kind of kingdom involvements. We always go during the Halloween event, so usually it's a little more mystical, like there's fairies or there's ghosts involved. But royalty is there, so which led me to pick this print because of royalty, princess, Princess Cat, and being on a winery, I wanted to try and cording it in a different way than I normally would feel comfortable with this wine red blouse, which is the same one that I'm wearing now. So I like this. I was shocked to see that I like this shade of red with that shade of lavender. It really reminds me of grapes in a good way. And the tights, they also mimic the red of the blouse while also having a lot of gold and black designs on it. So I feel like that really connects with the print, at least in terms of that, and ties it together. I really like this cord. I think I would, I don't know, I kind of want to mess around with it more. It doesn't feel like it's all the way done for me. But I'm really happy that I tried something different here. I think I want to try maybe some navy or a dark purple coordinating with this, and definitely look into the possibility of cording it with pink. Princess Cat is also one of those dresses where I like every single colorway, which makes it really hard for me to decide. I'm normally not a huge fan of pink, so that rules pink out for me. But the red and the green colorways are just so beautiful, but I have no clue what I would do with them. Following that, we start looking at my cords with Metamorphose Temp Stiffies. This is their Sweet Rabbit's Bustle JSK. And in the front, it is this mainly ivory solid part of the main piece, and there's this little dainty pink ruffle on the bottom, and the bustle in the back is this same pink material. It has these dusty pink bows attached in two spots on the skirt. So for me, the obvious choice here when cording outside of that was to pull on the pink. I was very lucky and someone was selling the set, which means I was able to get the head bow as well. Anyway, I feel very fancy in this coordinate. Very spring. Red shoes to go off of the red accents in the dress, and these are Metamorphose Temp Stiffies Cats and Cherry Cake OTKs, which I kept. I kept the ivory and the mint blue version of them, and I found that the cats on the OTKs themselves, there's one that hits around the ankle and the other one hits a little bit above the knee, or at least high enough up on the knee or right under the knee where the length of the typical Lolita dress covers them, and my shoe straps usually cover the cat on the ankle, which means I have these really nice pastry printed tights that can go with a lot of my sweet related dresses. I want to start making more wrist cuffs. That's one of my things that I'm setting out as a goal for myself this year. That, and maybe I start going into making rectangle headdresses. I corded this JSK in a really different way than I would have thought to recently. And because it's white, I didn't think to cord it with white, but the general rundown of that cord is that it was very white. And I almost feel like an old school style headdress would have really worked well with it. But that's another cord. So let's look at the next cord I did in this main piece for 2022. This felt like the next obvious one. It was a red puff sleeve blouse and my same red shoes with these socks that I believe are also from Roji Roji, but one of the socks has a spoon on it and the other one has a fork on it. And what you might not notice about the dress, unless you're closer on it, is that the waist bow that is right on the front here has a dangling spoon and fork, so that's a cute little detail that is harder to show up in photos. Now they are very loose and they're hard to stay on, and I actually ended up losing either the fork or the spoon recently, but luckily I know a couple of doll makers who make accessories and playsets for dolls, so I might end up commissioning them a fork or a spoon. Something else really fun is that a friend in the com has this random chocolate dangly earring piece, and it's small enough that it looks like it would be an adequate match for either the fork or the spoon, whichever one is left on the dress. I'm pretty sure the spoon is the one that's still on the dress. I had wrist cuffs that were red and white for this cord. Not made for this cord, but I had them and I was going to wear them, and as I put them on they broke, so I actually have to fix them. Yeah, I'm really curious. I think I could do a lot with this JSK. Something fun is that the first two ways I ended up cording it were not with white or with black. They were both with different colors. There's all these macarons raining down on the dress in different colors, so I have a lot of things I could play with there. Up next we have Kuma Kumia's Sweet Ice Cream, and this is in mint. Mint chocolate chip is my favorite ice cream. When I found out this print existed, I really took a chance. I'm outside of the measurement window that I see on Lollibrary for this print. However, it fits, so I'm not going to complain. Happy that it does. And I'm wearing the balloon advertisement blouse that I wore in the Princess Cat Peplum photo series that I did. Only this is the red heart version, whereas the other one had black hearts on it. I got a really good deal on them. Someone was selling them both as a bundle. And I wish that I had looked to see if this maker had any more in different colors, because it's a really cute blouse and it's very light and airy. Maybe I just have to see what else they're putting out there. I think they might be the people that are doing some of the Sanrio crossovers. I've been seeing some really cute dresses from Taobao of the different Sanrio characters. I think they have some involvement in that. I've got my red Access Femme shoes, and while Access Femme has a really short window for what size shoe they sell, they're some of the most comfortable shoes I own. And if they came out with different colors, I would buy them all. They're really comfortable. Aside from that, I have these mint hair clips from Me Likes Tea, and I have this red and white striped hair clip that I got from Claire's when I was like very young. Kind of nice how things come full circle, and things that you get as a kid end up being relevant later on in life. The next cord that I did with Kumi's sweet cream or sweet ice cream was a pink cord, and you can't see it all too well, but those socks, I swear they're pink. I don't know why, but they always seem to photograph like a light bluish purple or maybe like an off-white, but they're pink. They're very light pink. I've got these pink Dream Hollow clips in the back. In the middle section, we've got the Me Likes Tea Mints, and right in that middle we have the Claire's head bow that I got when I was very little. And you can't see it here, but I have these little cherry clips on the wig, and you know, with the sundae they put the cherry on top, so I decided, oh, cherry goes right here. I feel like this is a more OTT look for me, but I just love head bows. I'll put as many on as I can. These are the wrist cuffs that I made, the white and mint ones that I originally made to go with Kumi's Marine Island JSK. Nice that I can get a use for them outside of that JSK. And then I have some BTSSB Honey Cross shoes. These shoes I would say are really comfortable. I got them secondhand because brand shoes are not known for being the best quality. They're known for peeling and flaking, and so far they're holding up well enough, but I'm also very careful in them. I live in a very humid environment, so if I went out and it was wet, I will wipe them down. But I do have another pair of brand shoes that I own that I think I won't wear when it gets humid out because they just melt. But these ones seem to be pretty okay. You know, they're gonna get banged up because they're shoes. Cute and they're pretty comfortable. Okay, so this one I'm excited about. This is Baby the Stars Shine Bright, and it is their Ribbon Milky Sugar JSK, the 2009 release. And they've re-released it a bunch since then and added new colorways, and I think they changed the sizing too. So if you're a fan of this JSK, since it's been released, it's become a lot more available, which is good because I think it is one of the cutest old school JSKs. Also the only old school JSK I have, but I really want to get more after wearing this. The cord that we have here for a tea party where the theme was old school, and it was for a com member's birthday. And it was a lot of fun to see so many people's interpretation of old school and the different chords and pieces that I had never seen before since I am a newer Lolita. Something that I want to do more, and I find myself feeling nostalgic for it, even though I wasn't involved in that period, so maybe catching up for lost time. This is a pretty simple white and black cord because the JSK is white and black, so that seems like the easiest way to wear it. And while it is a JSK, it's a JSK from that period of time where the straps are actually short sleeves, so I could wear this without a blouse in theory, but I'm not comfortable with that yet. The blouse that we have here is Metamorphosis blouse and caplet series that came out last year or the year before that, so 2022 or 2021. This is the antique white, and I'm really glad I got it because I have so many uses for it. With and without the caplet is very versatile. And normally when you wear the caplet or the blouse, it comes with this little ivory bow. But because of the way the bodice is lined up, it has these white lace columns and white across with these black ribbons and then the black bows going down. I thought it would be really cute to get a black bow from another blouse and to pin it here to mimic that going up, even though I'm wearing the caplet so you can't see the natural end of it. I think it works pretty well. This is the black and white head bow that I got, and it's actually a head bow. It's not a waist bow that I just put a hook through. Yeah, I tried to do this hairstyle where you put your hair up into like two twintails, I guess. And my hair was not as long then as it is now, so I would really like to do that again because it's only looking better, so yeah. And this next cord is very similar, but there's one change I made that I feel like gives it a completely different flavor. And that is, instead of wearing the caplet part of that blouse, I took it off. You can see that extended JSK sleeve. And I ended up going with black and white lace top socks with my ivory Access Femme woodblock shoes. Same head bow, hair was a little bit different. It was in like a side pony situation. I really like it. It's kind of crazy to me how different a feel just removing the cape and changing the socks and shoes give it. They're very similar, but just removing one piece and swapping out the legwear, I don't know. It's kind of the beauty and simplicity with old school where even minor changes can really alter the way that cord reads. And I guess that can go for anything, but I feel like when you're working with more limited, more solid pieces, it's a lot more apparent when there is a change, and I kind of like that. Next is a newer addition, but a loved one nonetheless, and that is Angelic Pretty's Country of Sweets OP from 2011. And I'm still shocked that this one fits comfortably. My issue with most OPs that I've tried, especially from Angelic Pretty, is that the cuff of the OP sleeve is usually never as big as I need it to be. It's always just a little too tight, even with the elastic. But this one just fits fine. So I'm like, you guys have the pattern. You could do it. I know you can do it. Got so lucky with this. I got this secondhand off of Buyee, and the person was selling it with the Boston bag, the Casey, and also the matching choker that came with the set. And apparently the choker is one of the harder to find pieces just because it's small, so it's easy to get lost. I think I tie it onto the sleeve when I'm not using it, since I want to make sure I can keep an eye. The socks that we have here are from AP's Polka Dot Chocolate and Black, and I think that it works really well. Not much to say. I like this cord a lot. Next time that I ended up wearing AP's Country of Sweets, I tried to incorporate some of my old school and old sweet style understandings where I layer the blouse underneath the OP. So this was the first time I got to try that. And I mean, I really like it. It's a pink cord that I went with for the Nutcracker ballet meet that my com did. I was thinking of the gingerbread house, Country of Sweets, Nutcrackers in the Country of Sweets for some point, right? Yeah, I get a lot of use out of these Dreamholic pink head bows. And this is the same blouse as the ivory or the antique white meta blouse with caplet series. This is just the pink version. And I constantly have to stop myself from getting another colorway because I really want more blouse diversity. I was also really hoping that this blouse would go on Meta's winter sale, but it didn't. So it's for the best for me. But this blouse is so versatile. I feel like I can wear it with almost anything. These shoes are Alice and the Pirates. I can't remember what it is. I know it's like woodblock style frill shoe. It might be called something like that. And the pink on it, it's really pretty. I feel like the actual like satiny material that's on the top, it's really reminiscent of ballet. But the thing with these is that they're super fragile, which I didn't realize. Luckily, I got them secondhand, so they weren't that expensive compared to buying new. But I went out and I live in a very humid area, and I noticed right after it that some of the parts on these straps and I think on another part of the shoe were already starting to look a little crackly. I need to look up how to, I guess, weatherproof these kinds of shoes, or maybe figure out how to paint them, because I really like the look of that frill in the back, and woodblock style shoes are my favorite. They're also harder to walk in than my other woodblock styles, and this is because they're a bit more shaped, whereas my Access Femme ones, they're a flat wood platform, so I don't have to really do that much. This one curves in at my arch and has like a natural roll under it. Very happy with this look. I feel like by the end of 2022, I was really getting more confident in incorporating different colors into these cords as well as different ways of accessorizing. And that also comes with being in the fashion. The longer you're in it, the more you have to work with. 2023, I've made it a goal that I'm going to try and put off buying a main piece for as long as possible, which sounds like really, I don't know, some kind of way when I think about it. But when you first get started, at least for me, you keep seeing all these beautiful pieces and you're like, oh my gosh, like I want that for my wardrobe. And it's easy to focus on a main piece because it is the main piece. But having different things to accessorize and accentuate that main piece can really change the overall look of that cord. And I think doing that old school cord where I just changed out the socks and the caplet, that was the final confirmation I needed to show that, yeah, like, if you change the different accompanying pieces, your main pieces look and feel different. And you can cord for different occasions, too. I've already taken some steps, so currently, as of, like almost end of February, I haven't bought any main pieces, which is really good for me. But I have purchased a couple shoes that are in different colors. I've been focusing more on blouses as well. I really want to get into supporting more indie brands, especially for things like blouses, but it's kind of hard to find ones that mesh with my style. Right now I have a lot of AP, Baby, and Meta, and I would like to diversify what's in my closet. Let's see, what else is there? Yeah, so that's all I have for looking back at my cords from 2022. And I'm hoping to create more in 2023, but we'll see what happens. Already my life has been a lot more hectic, so I haven't worn Lolita as much as I wanted to. And last year I hosted a lot of meets, which was really fun for me, but this year I haven't really been able to do the same. So I am feeling a bit at a loss since I did really like having that much Lolita in my life. It's just that sometimes other things get in the way and you've gotta adjust. Outside of Lolita, a new band just popped up. They're called Enoch Root, and they put out their full album pretty recently. It's called Illusion, which is really good. It just did a full release of that album, I think a couple days ago at the time of recording this, and I'm in love. If you like progressive rock, I would highly recommend it. So thank you for watching. If you want to find me, I'm more active on Tumblr than I am anywhere else, so that's a good bet. I really like the blogging style, and it lets me share other people's cords in a way that I feel can give better recognition. Other places I'm also on would be Instagram, so if you want to see more of me, those are the two places that you can find me. I'm also thinking of starting, I think they're called Dreamwith accounts. That's like a blogging thing, I believe. I was even thinking of if it would be worth it to start up a LiveJournal account. I didn't have one. I was on different parts of the internet when LiveJournal was really popular. But if you have any blogging recommendations, let me know, because I would really like to have more places where I can talk and read about Lolita fashion. And I feel like I'm not really getting that from Instagram, since it is more of a, I guess, image-focused platform. And I like to know the thoughts behind the Lolita. Alright, thanks for watching.